Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has paused the noise of this world so you could hear this. There is movement in the unseen, steady, certain, purposeful. You can't explain it, but your spirit feels it. Something or someone is drawing near. It isn't imagination, it's divine synchronization. A tall man is on his way, and his coming marks the turning of your spiritual season. You've been sensing the pressure building, haven't you? Nights where the air feels heavier. Moments where silence speaks louder than words. Those aren't coincidences, they're signals. Heaven has been preparing you for an encounter. The unease in your heart is not fear, it's recognition. Something within you already knows that this arrival carries purpose. You were never meant to walk an ordinary path. You've carried burdens that were too heavy for most. Survived storms that should have ended others. But each trial was calibration, training your discernment for divine encounters. When God chooses someone, He doesn't send comfort first. He sends clarity through conflict. Every misunderstanding, every rejection, every night you whispered prayers no one heard. Those were rehearsals for revelation. Now, the signs align. The tall man is not coming as a coincidence. He is a confirmation. His stature is more than physical. It mirrors divine vision. He sees beyond what others see, beyond the horizon of doubt and delay. Through him, heaven will show you what alignment looks like in human form. But remember this, when God sends a messenger, the test is not their presence, it's your perception. It is written in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants the prophets. Heaven never moves without a warning. What you're hearing now is that warning. This message is the whisper before the manifestation. The tall man represents divine revelation, stepping into motion. It means that God is about to unfold something you've been praying for, but in a way you did not expect. You are standing on sacred timing. Be alert, not anxious. Chosen one. Your preparation determines your perception. Guard your space. Do not let fear, bitterness, or impatience distort your vision. When he arrives, you'll know it, not by sight, but by spirit. There will be a resonance, a recognition deeper than words. Your heart will leap. Your inner light will flare. And you will feel peace that surpasses understanding. That will be your confirmation. This is not about romance or curiosity, it's about divine orchestration. Heaven sends people as messages wrapped in flesh, sometimes as mentors, sometimes as warnings, sometimes as awakeners. The tall man is an awakener. His coming will unlock what has been sleeping inside of you. The gift, the boldness, the clarity that was silenced by seasons of waiting. And yes, the resistance around you will increase. The closer revelation gets, the louder distractions become. Stay focused. The enemy cannot stop what God has already set in motion, but he will try to make you doubt it. Refuse to entertain fear. Walk with confidence, knowing that this is not coincidence, it is divine sequence. If your spirit bears witness to this word, take a moment now, type 777 below as a prophetic sign of agreement. It means, I am in divine alignment. It's not superstition, it's a declaration that your heart and heaven are synchronized. And before you go, like this message, share it with another chosen one. And subscribe so you don't miss what heaven will reveal next. Each message builds upon the last, each one a stepping stone toward the full unveiling of what is coming your way. You are not waiting for chance, you are waiting for confirmation. The tall man's footsteps echo through the spirit realm already. Stand ready, for this encounter will mark the moment your preparation meets divine fulfillment. Chosen one. Remember, heaven never forgets the ones marked by purpose. Every delay was divine timing in disguise, shaping your faith into unshakable steel. The tall man's coming is not an ending, but a beginning. Destiny doesn't knock softly, it arrives with fire. When he appears, respond with stillness, not shock. Your spirit will recognize what your mind cannot explain. This is the moment prophecy becomes movement, where your obedience opens gates that prayer only touched. Stand firm. Heaven's promise is unfolding through this encounter, and when the moment passes, you will not be the same. The air will feel lighter, your discernment sharper, your vision wider, because every encounter sent by God transforms atmosphere. Prepare your altar. Chosen one. This visitation will turn your waiting into awakening. You wake to silence that feels heavier than usual. The world outside moves as always, cars pass. Voices rise and fade, but something unseen presses close. It is as if heaven itself is holding its breath. You've been noticing the shift. Small things that feel off. Dreams that linger after you wake. A sudden awareness that the air carries meaning. The tall man's shadow draws closer, and your spirit can already sense the weight of his arrival. In this stillness, your memories begin to stir. Every strange encounter from the past weeks now feels like a breadcrumb. The unfamiliar faces that seem to appear and vanish. The whisper in your heart telling you to wait. The urge to prepare without knowing for what. None of it was random. Heaven rarely shouts. It layers signs for those who have ears to hear. You've entered the season of divine echo. Messages come twice now, once in the natural, once in the spirit. You might overhear a phrase repeated by strangers, or find the same word written in unexpected places. These are signals woven into your timeline, threads of prophecy moving through the ordinary. They are proof that the veil between heaven and earth is thinning around you. When God prepares a meeting, He always clears the atmosphere first. That's why people have drifted away without explanation. That's why doors have closed. Why silence has replaced noise. It's not rejection, it's alignment. God removes distractions so you can discern presence. You were never meant to entertain every voice. You were meant to recognize one frequency, the sound of divine instruction. The tall man is more than flesh and bone. He represents heaven's language, made visible. He will not announce himself with grandeur. His presence alone will shift the room. You might meet him in an ordinary setting, a hallway, a marketplace, a chance moment, but something inside you will know. This is the one sent for this hour. His height is symbolic of divine perspective. He sees further, carries wisdom born of refinement, and brings clarity to confusion. Yet not everyone will perceive it. Many will glance and see nothing special, but you will sense the vibration beneath the surface, because only those who have been refined by fire can recognize heavenly fire in others. Your process has trained your perception. You've wept long enough to understand what true peace feels like when it enters the room, as was spoken through the prophet Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. This is that appointed time. The revelation does not belong to yesterday, nor to some faraway future. It belongs to now. You are walking inside, prophecy being fulfilled, and the tall man's steps are part of its rhythm. You've waited. You've endured. And now, heaven delivers what was promised long before you knew to ask. But be cautious. Chosen one. Every divine visitation attracts counterfeit noise. There will be those who appear to carry wisdom, yet drain your peace. They will come with charisma, but no calling. Your discernment must rise higher than your curiosity. Peace will always reveal authenticity. True messengers never compete for attention. They bring stillness where chaos once ruled. The tall man carries that stillness. His words will not need convincing. His silence will speak of authority. When he looks at you, you'll feel seen in ways words could never achieve, because he will not be looking at you, but through you, seeing the assignment, the anointing, and the warfare that shaped you. And when the encounter comes, remember this truth. It was never about him. He is a mirror God uses to show you who you've become. His arrival will confirm that you've matured into recognition, that you can now discern divine timing without explanation. The test was never waiting for him. It was becoming the version of you who could meet him with understanding. The night before his arrival, your spirit may feel restless again. That's not anxiety. It's the vibration of heaven aligning coordinates. You may dream vividly or sense warmth in the air. Pay attention. The universe bends when divine appointments are near. Do not rush. Do not reach. Do not chase. Simply stay open. Heaven doesn't need your performance. It needs your posture. When destiny wants to find you, standing still in faith is louder than any movement. The tall man is already on his way, drawn not by coincidence, but by obedience written into your timeline. You are being written into prophecy as you breathe. Every heartbeat now echoes with anticipation. Soon, you will look back and realize this was the moment heaven prepared you for, all along the calm before the divine intersection where your waiting meets its purpose. The air around you feels charged now. You can almost sense footsteps that have not yet touched the ground. The veil between realms grows thin, and time itself seems to hold its breath. You are standing in the tension between promise and manifestation. This is the place where heaven begins to reveal who you truly are, a marked one, set apart to witness the unfolding of a divine encounter. Chosen one. You have been feeling the pull. Random memories surface. Emotions rise without reason. It's not nostalgia, it's recognition preparing your soul. Heaven often stirs the past before introducing the future. Every memory being awakened now serves a purpose, to remind you that nothing in your journey has been wasted. Every wound, every delay, every lonely night, all were ingredients of divine refinement. And now, the hour of revelation draws near. The tall man's approach is not just about one meeting, it's about unlocking what has been hidden in you. You were never meant to be a bystander in your own prophecy. You were meant to participate in it. This encounter will not just confirm your calling, it will activate it. Yet, before that happens, heaven must ensure that your discernment outweighs your desire. Many pray for encounters, but few prepare for truth. You must understand that every messenger carries both light and test. The tall man carries what you asked for, but how you receive him will determine what is released. Scripture speaks through the writings of Job. Chapter 33, verse 14. For God does speak now one way, now another, though no one perceives it. Inzan, do you hear that? God is already speaking through the signs, through your intuition, through the strange coincidences you keep brushing aside. This is not your imagination, it is communication from a realm that speaks differently. Heaven uses whispers to test who is listening closely. You may not hear an audible voice, but you'll feel a divine frequency wrapping around you, an unexplainable knowing that something sacred is near. The tall man is not a random arrival. He is heaven's exclamation mark at the end of your silent prayers. But the enemy knows timing too. That's why distractions have increased lately. Old emotions, familiar faces, sudden doubts, all strategies meant to blur your vision. Darkness always multiply noise before divine clarity. Don't let confusion speak louder than conviction. Remember, peace is the highest proof of truth. You've grown enough to recognize that destiny is not always comfortable. Sometimes, divine appointments look ordinary. Sometimes, miracles wear human skin. The tall man may not appear how your mind expects, but your spirit will know. Recognition happens in silence, in that exact second when heaven and your heart breathe in unison. You are not waiting for rescue, you are waiting for revelation. Heaven is not sending someone to save you, it's sending someone to remind you of who you already are. The tall man's words will awaken strength you forgot you had. His presence will mirror the authority that's been hidden beneath your weariness. When you see him, you'll see the reflection of divine endurance, what it looks like when someone walks fully in purpose. And when that moment happens, it will be subtle, yet seismic. The air will shift. The noise around you will fade. You'll feel as though time bends for a heartbeat. That's how heaven signals the collision of assignments. Don't speak too quickly. Don't rush to define it. Just know. Now, pause here. If your spirit recognizes this, if something inside you says, yes, this word is mine, then comment, I receive it below. It's not about the algorithm, it's about agreement. Every time you write those words, you align your atmosphere with heaven's confirmation. It becomes a declaration that your ears are open, your heart is ready, and your faith stands unshaken. You are no longer the one who waits, you are the one who watches. The winds have shifted, the signs multiply. Heaven has moved from promise to fulfillment, and though the world sees nothing yet, your spirit already knows the tall man is closer than ever. When the divine nears, creation adjusts. You'll notice unusual calm, even in chaos. That stillness isn't emptiness, it's spiritual synchronization. Heaven quiets surroundings, so your inner hearing can recognize what the natural mind overlooks. Every chosen one experiences this pause. It's heaven's way of saying, prepare, not panic. Stillness precedes revelation. When movement slows around you, understand, it's not delay but delivery. The quiet before manifestation breathes, and when it finally happens, your spirit will know, not with fear, but with familiarity. Because the presence approaching isn't foreign, it's fulfillment. The tall man's coming completes a promise. Heaven began in you. The symbol of the tall man lingers in your thoughts. Even when you try to push it aside, you picture him not merely as a person, but as a living metaphor, a message sent by heaven wrapped in human form. His stature represents not just height, but vision, not just presence. But divine oversight. Where others see straight ahead, he sees beyond. That is why heaven chose this image, so you could understand the vastness of what's about to unfold. Chosen one. In every generation, God raises a figure that stands above the noise, not to boast, but to bear witness. The tall man is that witness for your moment. His steps echo spiritual authority, the kind that is not loud yet, cannot be ignored. He does not come to take control, he comes to release perspective. Through him, you will see yourself from a higher place, beyond the weight of current limitations. There are times when heaven must show you something tangible so your heart can believe what your faith has whispered all along. That is what this visitation represents, not a rescue, but a reminder. You've prayed for clarity, and God answers by sending a living example of it. The tall man is the embodiment of heaven's vantage point. When he speaks, you will notice a steadiness, as though time slows around him. He will not rush his words. He will carry an authority that does not depend on volume. He will not force belief, because truth never needs to argue its place. It simply stands. In this, God is teaching you something deeper. True authority is never frantic. It flows from alignment. It's not about towering over others, but about seeing farther, carrying peace where others carry pressure. You are meant to learn from that. His presence will remind you that divine height has nothing to do with pride, it has everything to do with perspective. According to what is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? This is the essence of the message. Heaven is doing something new, and the tall man's approach is its announcement. You are invited to perceive it, to see beyond appearances, beyond labels, beyond what familiarity blinds you to. He is not an idol to admire, but a mirror to awaken what God planted within you. Still, you must understand that such encounters always carry weight. When heaven entrusts a revelation, it also releases responsibility. Seeing from higher ground requires stronger balance. The tall man's presence will challenge your posture. Can you hold steady when vision expands? Can you remain humble when God elevates your sight? These are the silent questions written into this encounter. Don't expect dramatic signs. Heaven moves with subtlety when working with mature spirits. The sign you will receive is recognition, a peace that feels both ancient and new. You will not have to question it. You will simply know. The tall man's message will not only affirm your faith, it will expose areas that need healing. Every true encounter with God's messenger both comforts and corrects. There is also a reason he is described as tall. Height in Scripture has always represented divine watchfulness. Mountains, towers, prophets all stand elevated, not to rule, but to see. His coming means heaven is restoring your sight. You will begin to discern patterns that were hidden in plain view. The fog will lift, and the path ahead will no longer intimidate you. You might not understand it immediately, but clarity is rarely instant. It unfolds. The tall man's purpose is to realign your gaze so you can recognize destiny's pattern in everyday details. That is why this season feels different. Everything around you is shifting toward revelation, and your inner world is adjusting to hold more light. The symbol of his height reminds you that spiritual growth is not about physical distance, but perspective gained through surrender. You rise by kneeling. You see higher by bowing lower. The more you yield, the clearer you perceive. This is how heaven teaches sight to the humble. So when he arrives, remember, do not worship the vessel. Honor the vision. The man is the means. The message is the miracle. You are not being invited to chase revelation, but to become revelation, to carry the same clarity, peace, and steadiness that he brings. Soon, you will realize that the tall man was never just approaching you, he was awakening you. Every step he takes closer mirrors your own ascent toward divine maturity. His coming is the sound of your own spirit, rising to meet its higher calling. There are moments when heaven does not speak with thunder or lightning, but through gentle nudges of understanding. You are in such a moment now. The tall man's arrival is near, not in noise, but in quiet confirmation. Every dream, every sudden stillness, every word that stirs your soul is part of that quiet preparation. You may not see it yet, but heaven has already begun to move pieces into alignment. The tall man represents divine order walking toward you. His presence will not bring chaos, it will bring calm. He carries an energy of purpose, a reminder that even when life feels uncertain, God's timing is never mistaken. And as this story unfolds, something deeper begins to awaken within you. You start realizing that heaven never sends a messenger for one person alone. When one chosen one is awakened, the ripple reaches many. That is how divine messages work. They multiply through every heart that chooses to listen. You see, the message you're hearing right now isn't just for entertainment. It's for endurance. It's for those nights when your faith flickered but didn't die. Every word you've received so far is like oil for your lamp, keeping your light burning while the world grows darker. The tall man's approach is both literal and symbolic, a reminder that hope is still walking toward you, even when everything else seems to be moving away. It was written in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 1. See, I will send my messenger, who will prepare the way before me. You are standing in that preparation right now. God is sending reassurance before the revelation, calm before the encounter. And just as you are being prepared, so is the messenger. Every divine crossing requires both paths to be ready at the same time. Now, chosen one, I want to speak to your heart for a moment. These words, these messages, this space, it all exists to reach you wherever you are. It takes time, love, and unseen effort to create each one, so that you can sit in stillness and hear what heaven is saying. If this message has spoken to you, if it has lifted your heart even a little, then consider watering the tree that gave you shade. Not because you must, but because gratitude flows naturally from a soul that has been nourished. When you choose to donate, see it not as giving away, but as sending light forward, like passing a torch into another's dark night. Every small flame adds to a fire that never dies. If you feel led, give from peace, not pressure. A coin of love weighs more in heaven than a bag of gold given with reluctance. When you sow into a message born of light, you help it travel farther, reaching hearts you may never meet but are still part of. And even if all you can offer right now is your listening, your time, your prayer, that too is sacred currency. Heaven measures faith by sincerity, not by size. If this word touched your heart, take a moment to like it, share it, and subscribe. When you share, you open another window for light to enter someone's midnight. When you subscribe, You stay near the fire, where new revelations are kindled, where hope keeps speaking softly through every message that follows. And if you feel that gentle tug to give, let it be your whisper to heaven saying, I believe this light must keep shining. And that is not obligation, it is partnership in purpose. The tall man is still walking, the message is still unfolding, and you, yes, you are part of the movement. Stay open, stay expectant, and stay connected, for what is coming next will not just meet you, it will multiply through you. When heaven begins a movement, it never ends with one life. What you've received here is a spark, small but sacred. Sparks are meant to travel, to leap from one heart to another until darkness loses ground. Somewhere, someone is still waiting for a sign that hope exists. Your light might be the signal they've been praying for. Keep it burning. Keep it visible. Every act of faith, every word shared, becomes another lantern lit along destiny's path. And as you continue forward, remember, generosity isn't about giving things away, it's about allowing love to keep flowing. What you release in faith never leaves you. It circles back, multiplied, as peace, purpose, and provision. This is how heaven sustains its own. So walk gently, knowing heaven watches every seed you plant. Nothing offered in love is ever lost. It blooms again in unexpected places, reminding you that divine cycles never end. The wind shifts again. You can almost feel time slowing down, as if creation itself is waiting for your next breath. The tall man has not yet appeared, but the atmosphere announces him. The sky seems clearer, the silence deeper, and your intuition sharper than before. These are the signs that destiny is near. You have walked through so many delays that hope once felt like a stranger. Yet now, something in your spirit begins to rise again. You do not fully understand why, but peace has started to return in small waves. Heaven is preparing you for contact, not with chaos, but with confirmation. Sometimes, before a divine visitation, God sends what feels like nothing: silence, stillness, emptiness. But those are not voids, they are vessels being prepared. The absence you feel is actually the presence of alignment taking shape. That is why everything feels quieter than usual. Heaven is rearranging the air around your assignment. The tall man carries more than presence. He carries perspective. His coming is a mirror held up to your faith. When he arrives, it will not just be about meeting someone, it will be about meeting your readiness. God doesn't send revelation to unprepared hearts. He sends it to those who have proven faithful in the unseen. As revealed through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 23, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way." No, those steps are not random. The tall man's journey toward you was written before your first heartbreak, before your first failure, before you even knew how to pray. His path was ordered, and so was yours. Every twist, every detour, every lonely road, all of it was leading to one divine intersection. You may ask, why me? Because your obedience created a pathway. Heaven always moves through yielded vessels, and you chose surrender when it would have been easier to give up. That choice invited this moment. The tall man's approach is heaven's way of saying, you didn't endure for nothing. But understand this, such encounters are never for comfort alone. They are catalysts. He comes to awaken what is dormant, to call out what you stopped believing you still carried. His words will not flatter you, they will stretch you. His presence will not entertain you, it will realign you. And just as God orders steps, He also orders timing. The exact moment He crosses your path will be the moment your heart can finally receive what you once resisted. This is why the waiting had to be long, because your capacity needed to expand before heaven could entrust you with greater vision. There will be a shift in your spirit when it happens. Some describe it as warmth, others as weight. It may feel like recognition or calm, but however it comes, you will know it is divine. That's how heaven speaks, not in confusion, but in clarity that brings stillness. You have come too far to question the promise now. Don't let impatience sabotage what patience built. Every moment of faith you've held on to has created spiritual momentum. The tall man is not coming to rescue you. He's coming to remind you that you are already rescued. You are not broken waiting to be fixed. You are chosen waiting to be activated. Now pause. Feel what is happening inside you. This isn't just a message, it's a mirror. You are hearing your own spirit respond to destiny. That's why your heartbeat feels different. That's why your eyes tear up for no reason. It's not emotion, it's alignment. If this word resonates in your spirit, then comment 888 below. The number is not random. It speaks of new beginnings and eternal flow. 3 eighths, like 3 rivers, represent continuation, renewal, and abundance that never runs dry. When you write it, you are declaring, I am stepping into the cycle where endings become beginnings and every delay turns into direction. It is a prophetic act. Simple, yet powerful. Your way of saying, I'm ready for divine order to guide every step from here. Chosen one, heaven is never late. What you think is delay is divine choreography. Every footstep approaching, every echo of purpose drawing near, these are not random sounds. They are the rhythm of prophecy coming alive. So stand steady. Guard your peace. Keep your faith lit. For what's walking toward you is not just a person, but a manifestation of promise. And when your eyes finally meet His, you will know that everything, every battle, every silent prayer was worth it. The path has grown narrow. Quieter. Now, you begin to notice how the world around you feels slightly offbeat, as though time has slowed just enough for heaven to whisper through the spaces between seconds. You are living inside a divine pause, where everything ordinary becomes a message. This is the season of testing and training, not the kind that crushes, but the kind that clarifies. Heaven is refining your hearing, teaching you to recognize truth amid 1,000 false echoes. The tall man draws closer, but so do the counterfeits. Light and shadow always arrive together, competing for your attention. You must learn to discern not only what looks right, but what feels right in your spirit. Deception wears familiar faces. It speaks fluent kindness but lacks the fragrance of peace. Counterfeit connections mimic destiny while quietly draining your strength. That is why heaven trained you in solitude, so your discernment would not depend on emotion, but on presence. The darkness does not fear your knowledge, it fears your awareness. When you see clearly, it disguise crumble. That is why your recent days have felt confusing and heavy. The unseen realm is trying to blur your focus before revelation arrives. But clarity is returning. The more still you become, the sharper your sight grows. You've likely noticed certain people reappearing from your past, voices that once wounded you, suddenly speaking peace. Opportunities resurfacing that once led to distraction. These are not coincidences, they are rehearsals. The enemy always sends replicas before the real arrives. If you can resist the counterfeit, you will recognize the authentic instantly, as revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23. Abu Va'alels, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Dress. This guarding is not about suspicion, it's about stewardship. Your heart is the gate of discernment. If you allow bitterness or fear to remain, they distort what enters. The tall man's presence will carry an energy of truth, and only a heart free of resentment can receive it. That is why forgiveness is not a suggestion, it is spiritual protection. Release the ones who betrayed you, not to excuse them, but to free yourself from spiritual interference. When you hold on to anger, you hold on to static, and heaven speaks in frequency, not in noise. Forgiveness clears the channel, so that when the tall man finally stands before you, you can hear what he's truly sent to say. He will not bring answers that flatter, he will bring clarity that corrects. And though his words may challenge you, they will feel like home to your spirit. His height represents perspective. His message will pull you higher, teaching you to see as heaven sees, to look beyond offense, beyond pain, beyond self-doubt. You will know it is divine, not because he fits your preference, but because his presence commands peace. True messengers do not compete with your spirit, they confirm it. When he speaks, you will feel a calm authority, as if God himself pressed pause on the world for that moment alone. The tall man's arrival marks a new level of responsibility. With revelation comes refinement. Once your sight expands, you cannot return to blindness. God will require wisdom from you, the wisdom to stay grounded when your perspective grows. Great sight without humility leads to pride, and pride breaks vision. So stay humble. Continue walking in quiet strength. The same stillness that protected you in the waiting will protect you in the revealing. Remember, elevation is not for applause, it's for assignment. You are being trusted with insight that others cannot yet see. Carry it gently. Speak it only when led. Heaven measures maturity not by how loudly you declare truth, but by how wisely you steward it. Some revelations are meant to be lived before they are spoken. When you embody the message, the world sees without you saying a word, and in that, you begin to mirror the tall man himself, not in stature, but in spirit. You learn to stand tall in integrity, to walk with calm conviction, to see with compassion rather than judgment. That is what heaven has been building in you all along. When the meeting finally happens, you will realize the real preparation was never about him finding you, it was about you becoming him. A carrier of vision, a guardian of peace, a vessel of divine steadiness. The shadow of the tall man may approach, but the light within you is already rising to meet it. And when your spirits finally align, the world around you will fall silent. Two frequencies will merge. Heaven will bear witness, and purpose will no longer be a mystery, it will become motion. Discernment becomes your greatest weapon now. The closer the revelation draws, the more the unseen realm reacts. You begin to notice how certain moments feel charged, how ordinary encounters seem to carry weight beyond their surface. Heaven is fine-tuning your awareness, preparing you to recognize what eyes alone cannot see. The tall man is not here to impress. He is here to reveal. His very presence will require your spirit to rise. To meet him with understanding, you must stand in the stillness you've been trained in. Many crave divine encounters, but few can hold steady when they arrive. Heaven is shaping your composure to match your calling. You may feel the tension building, the pull between what you know and what you sense. Do not resist it. That pressure is transformation. Every spiritual elevation carries a moment where the old identity starts to crumble and the new one has not yet formed. You are in that sacred in-between. Trust it. Your intuition is sharpening for a reason. What once confused you now begins to make sense. The patterns repeat because God is confirming the lesson. Some people return not to stay, but to remind you how far you've come. The tall man's message will not just affirm your progress, it will confirm your perception. He comes as proof that you can finally be trusted with what you once misunderstood. Heaven's timing is always intentional. It waits until you can handle what it reveals. The tall man's height is not merely physical, it is prophetic. It represents expanded vision. To see from higher ground requires endurance. That is why your last season was so heavy. Heaven was stretching your perspective. You were being taught how to see storms not as punishment, but as preparation. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 22, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light." This light is what heaven is restoring to you. It is not the glow of emotion, but the illumination of understanding. You will soon begin to see beyond appearances, to perceive intent, to sense truth hidden beneath gestures and words. This is spiritual sight. The tall man's presence will act as a mirror, confirming what already lives in you. You will not need anyone to validate it. You will simply know. That certainty is the fruit of alignment. The spirit within you and the presence approaching you will recognize each other as if they've met before, because they have. In eternity. Still, remember, seeing clearly also means carrying responsibly. When your eyes open to greater realities, you must choose compassion over judgment. The tall man's authority is peaceful, not proud. He sees more, but condemns less. That is the posture heaven wants to cultivate in you. There will be moments when you sense conflict rising around you, people misreading your peace as arrogance, misunderstanding your quiet as distance. Let it be. When vision expands, language often fails. You don't owe explanations for what God is revealing privately. Stay grounded. The fruit of real discernment is stillness, not superiority. The tall man's coming will test this balance. His insight will challenge you to stand taller in your faith without towering over others. Spiritual stature is not about being above, it's about being able to see ahead. You will learn to look farther without losing humility. There is a rhythm to divine movement, revelation, recognition, reflection. Heaven shows. You discern, and then you embody. Each step strengthens the next. Soon, the tall man will not just walk into your life, he will walk through it, leaving traces of wisdom that keep unfolding long after he's gone. Your task is simple, yet sacred. Stay aware. Stay teachable. Stay unshaken. When the air changes, when your surroundings begin to shift without warning, don't run from it. That is often the signal that heaven is preparing the scene. The tall man's role in your story is not to change who you are, but to confirm what you've already become. He comes as the echo of heaven's approval, a living reminder that obedience has opened the path for revelation. And when you finally meet him, you'll understand that the true height was never his. It was the strength you built in silence. Heaven always mirrors strength before release. The tall man's nearness proves you've graduated from surviving to seeing. You no longer chase signs. You become one living proof that endurance births revelation. When purpose finally arrives, it doesn't shout, it breathes. The air will shift. Your soul will settle. And you'll know what you waited for was never late. Only perfectly timed. Everything begins to converge now. The signs that once appeared scattered suddenly start to make sense. Dreams you had months ago connect to moments happening today. Conversations, coincidences, even the timing of small events, they all weave into a pattern too precise to ignore. You are standing at the intersection of prophecy and fulfillment. This is the place where your timeline folds into heaven's plan. You feel it in your bones before you see it with your eyes. The air seems heavier, yet sacred. Every step you take feels guided. Even the pauses. You realize that your entire journey, every delay, every prayer, whispered in exhaustion, was choreography for this exact moment. The tall man is not just approaching. He is about to enter your timeline. This section of your path is called the prophetic intersection. It's the meeting point where what you believe and what you've endured finally collide. Heaven does not waste time. It waits for alignment. And right now, alignment is happening. The vibration in your spirit is confirmation that heaven's calendar has reached your name. You might not hear trumpet sounds or see flashes of light, but deep within, something clicks into place. Peace settles where fear used to live. Clarity replaces confusion. You begin to realize that the tall man was never a distant future. He was always walking through time to meet obedience. As revealed in the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 2, Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them. Abraham did not expect the visitors, yet his spirit recognized divinity in their approach. He didn't need an announcement. He felt the weight of heaven resting in their footsteps. That same awareness is being awakened in you. Your recognition will not come through logic, but through peace that feels ancient and alive at once. Chosen one. Heaven is reminding you that readiness is not performance, it is posture. The tall man's arrival demands not perfection, but presence. When he appears, you will not need to prove yourself. Your obedience has already spoken for you. The energy between you will not be chaotic or consuming, it will be confirming. It will feel like remembering something you never learned. But at this intersection, you must stay grounded. For when heaven moves, distractions often try to dance in the periphery. Old fears may whisper. Familiar doubts may resurface. Do not entertain them. Your job now is not to strive, it's to stay steady. This moment belongs to stillness, not struggle. There will be a shift in how you perceive time itself. What once felt delayed will suddenly feel right on schedule. What seemed random will prove intentional. That's how divine timing feels. When it finally arrives, it humbles you, showing that the waiting was part of the miracle. Now take a moment, breathe deeply, and feel this truth anchor in your heart. If you sense that your spirit recognizes this alignment, comment, "It is time" below. Let those 3 words be your declaration. You are not summoning anything new. You are confirming what heaven already released. every time you speak them. You echo Abraham's readiness. You lift your eyes, not to look for signs, but to meet them halfway, because this is the turning point. The moment when prophecy stops being promise and starts being presence. The tall man's footsteps are the sound of answered prayers approaching. Every challenge you've faced built the capacity to stand here, steady and expectant. And soon, when he arrives, you will not tremble. You will remember this moment, the calm before revelation, and realize that heaven prepared you perfectly. The intersection you're standing in is not just an event, it's an awakening. The map of destiny unfolds before your feet. And this time, you are ready to walk it. The intersection is not a single moment, it's a doorway. Once you cross it, you will never see life through the same lens again. Revelation changes the rhythm of your perception. It teaches you to see beyond coincidence into divine choreography. When you said, "It is time," heaven heard more than words. It heard recognition. That declaration is not a wish, it's an agreement. It marks the moment when your faith stops waiting and starts walking. You have moved from hope to manifestation. And now, the tall man's purpose becomes clear. He was never sent to rewrite your story, but to confirm the chapter heaven already finished. His arrival seals your readiness, proving that the waiting season was not wasted. It was preparation disguised as silence. When revelation touches reality, the air feels different. You sense it not as excitement, but as depth. The tall man's steps are no longer a distant echo, they resound near you now. Steady and deliberate, the spiritual and physical are converging, and heaven watches in silence as prophecy begins to take shape before your eyes. You don't need to chase this moment. It is already unfolding around you. Like dawn spreading across a sleeping city, the light does not ask permission to rise. It simply does. The same is happening to you. The seasons of uncertainty, of quiet endurance, of learning to trust what you cannot see, each one has carried you here. And yet, as the revelation grows near, you may feel a strange mixture of awe and hesitation. That's natural. When heaven entrusts you with something sacred, the heart trembles. You are not afraid. You are awakening. The tall man's presence is not meant to overwhelm, but to remind you that the same God who guided him to your path is guiding you through this hour. You were never alone in your journey. Even in the quietest moments, unseen hands were arranging the ground beneath your feet. What looks like coincidence is actually coordination. What you thought was silence was a song too holy for words. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. You are walking in that power now, steady, sound, surrendered. The tall man's arrival is heaven's exclamation mark at the end of your endurance. But even as revelation approaches, remember this: what you receive is not meant to stay contained. Light grows only when it's shared. That is why messages like this are spoken to reach the weary, the searching, the nearly broken. And this space, this voice, this sanctuary of words exists because someone, somewhere, chose to keep the flame burning. Every video, every message, every sound of encouragement is built like an altar of light, brick by brick, heart by heart. If this message has touched your spirit, take a gentle moment to like, share, and subscribe. When you do, it's not about numbers, it's about connection. Each click is like placing another lantern along a dark road so that others can find their way home. Your share could be the sign someone has been praying for. And if you've felt peace, healing, or clarity through these words, you may feel a quiet pull to give back, not out of obligation, but out of gratitude. Think of giving as planting a tree whose shade you may never sit under. When you donate, you're watering the roots of something that continues to offer rest and renewal for countless souls yet unseen. There's no demand here, no expectation, only invitation. The beauty of generosity is that it never forces, it flows. When you give from a full heart, your gift becomes a seed of hope that blooms in places you'll never visit, but heaven sees. If all you can offer today is your presence, your listening, or your prayer, that too is sacred. Your attention is currency in heaven's economy. Every moment you spend here adds to the resonance of faith being built across the earth. So, if you feel led, sow your seed in peace. Let your giving, whatever form it takes, be an act of partnership, not payment. Picture it as releasing a dove into the sky. It leaves your hands, but it always returns, carrying messages of blessing you didn't expect. Every like is light. Every share is an echo. Every subscription is a hand extended to another wanderer. Every donation, no matter how small, is a ripple that carries this voice farther, keeping the fire burning for the next soul, waiting to hear their reminder that they, too, are chosen. The tall man's nearness symbolizes not the end of the journey, but the beginning of service. You are now part of heaven's echo. What you give, what you share, what you spread, it becomes part of the movement. Not all are called to speak, but all are called to sustain light. And so, walk forward with peace. Share light as naturally as breathing. Give only as your spirit leads. Support, not because you must, but because love longs to multiply itself. You are not a spectator. Here you are part of the mission. The tall man walks closer still, and as he does, the world within you expands. You realize that every act of generosity, every word shared, every moment of listening is another step into divine alignment. You are no longer waiting for the move of God. You are the move of God. The tall man now stands on the threshold of your story. His approach feels both familiar and otherworldly, like meeting a memory you never lived. You sense no chase, only gravity, the weight of divine purpose made visible. Every quiet moment that led here suddenly feels justified. Every unanswered question finds meaning in this arrival. He does not speak immediately. His silence carries language older than words. And you understand instinctively that revelation often begins in stillness. The presence you feel is not about authority over you, but awakening within you. You are not standing before a stranger. You are standing before a reflection of your own becoming. The tall man is not sent to change your path, but to confirm your progress. His eyes hold the distance you once feared and the peace you now understand. In them, you see both the storms you survived and the strength those storms produced. That is what heaven wanted you to recognize. The one you were waiting for has been walking within you all along. Encounters like this are not random. They are rehearsed in eternity and replayed in time. Everything around you slows because heaven honors moments of recognition. The air seems to shimmer, not with magic, but with truth, the kind that doesn't demand explanation. You realize now that this meeting is not an introduction, it's remembrance, as revealed in the writings of the Apostle Paul to the Corinthians. First letter, chapter 13, verse 12. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. The tall man is that mirror. He stands as evidence that the unseen realm has crossed into the seen, that faith has taken form. When your eyes meet his, there is no surprise, only surrender. You feel your own heartbeat align with something eternal, something vast and familiar. In that instant, the world fades. You are not two beings facing each other, but two reflections merging into one truth. You understand that heaven did not send a rescuer, it sent a reminder. This moment exists, so you will never doubt again that God completes what he begins. He raises his hand slightly, and though no sound escapes his lips, your spirit hears, "Walk in what you've become." It is not a command, it is confirmation. The light around you shifts, not outward, but inward, filling the corners of your heart that once trembled with uncertainty. You realize that this encounter is not about sight, it's about recognition. You are seeing yourself through heaven's eyes for the first time. The tall man's presence reveals your maturity, your readiness, and the quiet authority born from endurance. This is what divine alignment feels like: calm power, effortless clarity, peace without condition. And when he finally speaks, the words are few, but they ripple like thunder through your spirit. Each syllable carries both affirmation and instruction. He tells you what you already knew but needed to hear, that your waiting was worship, that your silence was not punishment but preparation, and that the season of wandering has ended. No longer are you searching for signs or voices, you have become the vessel of them. What was once external now lives within you. You understand now that the tall man's purpose was to awaken the same height in your spirit, to show you that what you revered was never separate from you. His figure begins to fade, not in loss, but in fulfillment. The encounter was never meant to last forever, in form, only in effect. He leaves behind, not emptiness, but expansion. You feel larger, lighter, whole. As he turns away, you don't feel sadness, only gratitude. For you know now that destiny is not something that arrives, it's something that awakens. You are not waiting for purpose to come toward you. You are walking in the purpose that has always been calling your name. The wind stills after he departs, leaving behind a silence that feels alive. It isn't emptiness, it's completion. The atmosphere carries the residue of holiness, a quiet proof that heaven truly visited earth through obedience. You look around and realize everything appears the same, yet nothing feels the same. The trees sway softer, the light falls differently. Your heart beats slower. Revelation doesn't change scenery, it changes sight. You now see the divine in what you once overlooked. And as you walk forward, you sense the tall man's essence within you, courage without arrogance, wisdom without noise, vision without fear. You are no longer merely the one who waited, you are the one who witnesses. Heaven's reflection now walks through your steps. The encounter fades, but its echo remains. You walk differently now, slower, steadier, more deliberate. The air feels familiar, yet deeper, as if everything around you carries a hidden pulse. This is what revelation leaves behind. Awareness that ordinary moments are laced with divine breath. You are no longer chasing signs, you are living inside them. Every step you take vibrates with meaning. Even silence feels like a language you finally understand. The tall man is gone, but his presence lingers like fragrance after rain, subtle yet undeniable. It's not his absence you feel, it's heaven's completion resting over your timeline. The transformation isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. Heaven rarely announces victory with applause, it seals it with peace. The tall man's departure was not loss, it was fulfillment. You have graduated from seeing with your eyes to perceiving with your spirit. This is what spiritual maturity feels like: calm, certainty. You no longer need external confirmation to believe what God whispered long ago. The vision is now alive within you, and no wind of doubt can snuff it out. As revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 14, "For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God." You are walking in that truth now, no longer led by fear or circumstance, but by the quiet rhythm of divine direction. The same Spirit that guided the tall man to you now guides your own steps forward. The line between messenger and mission has dissolved. Your perception has changed. The things that once caused anxiety now stir compassion. You see through people's pain instead of reacting to it. You feel heaven's heartbeat in ordinary places on the bus, in conversation, even in moments of stillness. It's as though the entire world has become a classroom for your new awareness. This is the aftermath of divine encounter, revelation that breeds responsibility. Heaven doesn't visit without purpose. It plants understanding that demands action. The tall man came not to end your journey, but to initiate a new one, the journey of becoming a vessel for others as he was for you. Your spirit now carries light that others will recognize, even if they cannot explain why. Some will feel comfort near you, others conviction. That's how the divine operates. It disrupts and heals at once. Do not shrink back when you feel resistance. It is proof that your presence carries weight. And when you begin to wonder, what now? Remember this: revelation is not meant to rest, it's meant to ripple. The message that reached you must move through you. What you have seen is meant to be shared, not through preaching, but through being. You are now a living message, a reminder that heaven truly touches earth. Still, God knows the heart grows weary, even after revelation. That's why he gives reminders through simple acts of obedience. Sometimes, all he asks is acknowledgement, a sign that your heart remains open to his flow. So, right now, if this word resonates deep within you, take a quiet moment to comment. Ciento, once, below. This number symbolizes unity, one spirit, one path, one divine alignment. It is heaven's way of saying, the messenger and the message are one. When you type it, you're not just responding to a message, you're marking agreement with the truth that your steps and God's direction are walking in rhythm. Every time you declare that unity, the invisible realm takes note. Heaven sees your acknowledgement as participation, as if saying, I'm still listening, I'm still aligned. It is not about ritual, it's about resonance. You stand now in the space between completion and continuation. The tall man's task has ended, but your mission has begun. What he represented: vision, strength, patience, insight is now embedded within you. You carry his height in your spirit. You have become the tall one for someone else's horizon. So keep walking forward. Speak only what builds. Move only when peace leads. The same God who ordered your meeting will order your momentum. You are no longer waiting for divine movement. You are the divine movement. Chosen one. Heaven is not behind you. It walks beside you. Every breath, every step, every whisper of faith continues the message that began with the tall man's approach. The journey is not finished. It has simply shifted from visitation to vocation, from receiving to radiating. You are the evidence that heaven keeps its promises. Stand tall, for now others will look up and find hope in your shadow. The messenger arrived to remind you who you are. Now you walk as proof that revelation lives. The days after the encounter unfold like a sunrise, slow, steady, and irreversible. You find yourself seeing the world differently, not because the scenery has changed, but because you have. The tall man's presence has shifted something deep within your awareness. You wake with calm where anxiety once lived, and though the road ahead remains uncertain, it no longer feels threatening. Uncertainty has become invitation. This is the quiet aftermath of revelation. Heaven does not always send thunder after transformation. Sometimes it sends silence so you can hear your own spirit. What you're feeling now is not absence, it's assimilation. The encounter has merged with you, blending its truth into every breath you take. The tall man's shadow lingers not as haunting, but as heritage. His stature symbolized more than divine vision. It represented endurance, the ability to see from higher ground without losing connection to the earth beneath. You've inherited that balance now. You see more, but you remain humble. You stand taller, but you bow quicker. This is what heaven calls maturity, the blending of sight and surrender. And as you walk through your days, you begin to notice that people sense something different about you. They pause when you speak. They listen more deeply than before. It isn't charisma they respond to, it's clarity. The tall man's essence radiates through you now, not in form, but in frequency. You carry a calm authority that doesn't demand attention, but commands it naturally. There are moments when you catch your reflection and feel a strange recognition. It's as though you see traces of the tall man within your own posture, the stillness in your eyes, the steadiness in your stance. Heaven has completed its mirror work. What you once looked for outside now lives within. You begin to understand why the journey had to be so long. Delay was never denial, it was design. Every detour shaped discernment. Every heartbreak carved humility. Every silence deepened listening. The tall man was not sent merely to deliver revelation, but to confirm readiness. Heaven never wastes time on unprepared vessels, as revealed in the writings of James. Chapter 1, verse 4. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Although that work is finishing within you now. Perseverance is no longer a burden, it's become your crown. What once hurt now feels holy because you can finally see purpose in the pain. You understand that God's way is not about speed but strength, not about perfection but preparation. And so, you walk differently, not as one waiting for signs, but as one who is a sign. Your very presence becomes prophetic. You don't need to announce what God has done. It's evident in your peace. Every action, every word, every quiet moment carries weight. This is how heaven marks its chosen through quiet transformation that speaks louder than miracles. There will still be moments of testing. Even after revelation, darkness will attempt to whisper doubt, but you will find that fear no longer fits you. It may approach, but it cannot stay. You've grown beyond its reach. The vision you carry now acts as armor. The faith that sustained you now fuels you. The tall man's departure was not the end, it was your beginning. His role was to awaken your inheritance. Now, that inheritance flows through you, wisdom that sees without judgment, compassion that heals without words, faith that moves without noise. You have become the embodiment of what heaven wanted to reveal, and when you revisit the places that once felt heavy, you'll notice how different the air feels. What used to intimidate now invites. What once wounded now teaches. This is how you know transformation is genuine, when old surroundings can no longer provoke old reactions. You no longer wait for the divine to arrive. You recognize it within every moment. In every stranger's smile, in every breath of wind, in every quiet miracle that unfolds unnoticed. You see through heaven's eyes, now wider, softer, stronger. The tall man may have vanished from sight, but his message continues to breathe through you. Every step forward becomes a continuation of his journey. You are the living evidence that heaven's messengers do not fade, they multiply. And when night falls, you no longer fear the dark. You understand that stars only shine because of darkness, and revelation only glows where surrender once stood. Each sunrise feels like remembrance. You breathe differently, speak slower, and love deeper, because heaven's encounter didn't visit you, it transformed you into its continuation. And now, even silence feels alive with meaning. You've become the horizon itself, where endings and beginnings meet, where heaven's whisper finds form in human breath. The tall man's journey lives quietly through your every heartbeat. The rhythm of life continues, but something beneath its surface has shifted forever. You walk through familiar places, yet every step feels new, as if invisible threads now guide your motion. The tall man's message continues to echo, not in your ears, but in your soul. It rises in moments of silence. It whispers through everyday choices, reminding you that purpose is not an event, but a rhythm. You begin to recognize divine orchestration, even in what seems random. The way conversations align, how opportunities open quietly, how timing feels too perfect to be chance. These are the fingerprints of heaven. Revelation has made you sensitive to divine order. You no longer measure success by movement, but by peace. If something brings peace, it carries God's signature. There is a still authority within you now, the kind that does not need defending. You have learned that truth never struggles to be believed. It simply stands until everything false falls away. This calm has become your crown. You wear it not as pride, but as remembrance of nights you almost gave up, of prayers that felt unanswered, but were really being woven into perfect timing. As revealed in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." End wow. Completion does not mean an end, it means continuation. The tall man's work in you is complete because it has multiplied through you. You carry the same steady vision, the same unshakable presence. What he represented was not power, it was alignment. And now that alignment walks through your life in every decision you make. There are moments when you sense him still, perhaps in the quiet before dawn, or in the reflection of light across a window pane. Those moments are not haunting, they are harmony. Heaven leaves traces of its messengers so that the memory of truth never fades. Each trace reminds you that obedience is eternal. It doesn't end with the act. It keeps echoing through lives yet to be touched. You begin to notice that others now come to you seeking clarity. They sense what you once sensed, the pull towards something higher, the call toward understanding. And without realizing it, you have become what you once waited for. Your words carry reassurance, not because you rehearse them, but because they are drawn from the same well that once refreshed you. Your peace has become your testimony. You don't argue with darkness, you outshine it. You don't chase validation, you radiate stability. The tall man's height was never about superiority, it was about perspective. Now, that perspective flows through you, teaching you to rise above without losing compassion. Sometimes, you catch yourself remembering the first time you sensed his nearness, the unease, the anticipation, the trembling in your chest. And now, you smile, realizing that every bit of it was necessary. Growth often feels like anxiety before it reveals itself as expansion. The pain of stretching was proof that heaven was enlarging your capacity for faith. In quiet moments, you replay the lessons, discern before you decide, listen before you speak, love even when unseen. These principles are now woven into your spirit's fabric. They are not habits, but identity. You have become fluent in the language of patience and fluent in the rhythm of purpose. Life continues with its ordinary demands, but you are no longer ordinary within it. You understand that holiness hides in daily things, in the way you forgive, in the way you pause, in the way you stay gentle when everything around you demands reaction. You are learning the sacred art of remaining still in a restless world. And as you move forward, you realize that the tall man's journey was never apart from your own. His presence was the mirror, his message, the reflection, and his departure, the confirmation that you had arrived. The work is not finished, it is alive. What began as visitation has become vocation. You are now the keeper of height, the guardian of vision, the living echo of heaven's calm. The tall man's story continues. Every time you walk in wisdom, every time your peace transforms an atmosphere, you no longer search for signs in the sky. You've learned that heaven hides in every breath. Each moment, each glance, carries quiet proof that the divine still walks beside you. When doubts try to return, you stand taller, not in defiance, but in remembrance. The truth you carry has already outgrown their reach. Peace is now your greatest defense. And as dawn breaks again, you feel its purpose humming beneath your skin. The tall man may be gone, but his echo lives in your heartbeat, guiding every silent victory ahead. The unveiling has come full circle. The tall man's presence may have faded into the unseen, but his message still breathes through your every step. You no longer look outward for confirmation. The proof of destiny now lives within your peace. Heaven has completed its teaching, not by sending more signs, but by allowing silence to reveal maturity. You are standing in a sacred afterglow, the kind of light that lingers after the sun disappears beyond the horizon. It's not blinding. It's warm, gentle, and steady. You realize now that this was never about meeting someone extraordinary. It was about realizing that you were being shaped into someone heaven could trust. The tall man's mission was to awaken the divine steadiness already written into your soul. Everything about you speaks differently now. Your presence brings calm to chaos, clarity to confusion, hope to exhaustion. You have become what you once longed to encounter, a vessel of alignment, a living parable of perseverance. As revealed through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 10. If you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness. You understand this now in a way you never did before. Giving is not about loss, it's about circulation. Everything in creation survives through giving. The sun gives light. The river gives movement. The tree gives shade. Even the stars give direction to those wandering in darkness. The universe itself thrives on exchange. You are part of that same rhythm. You've received from heaven peace, revelation, insight, and now your heart quietly whispers a question: how can I keep this flow alive? The answer is simple: by letting it move through you. When you share what has lifted you, the light multiplies. When you give back to what has given to you, you complete the circle of blessing. If this message has touched your heart, like it, share it, and subscribe. Every gesture becomes a language of faith. A like is a spark, acknowledging light. A share is a bridge for another soul to cross into hope. A subscription is not an act of habit, it's choosing to stay close to the fire that keeps you warm. And if your heart feels moved to donate, do it as one plants a seed into a field that once fed them. Your giving is not an obligation, it's continuation. What leaves your hands returns as peace, as clarity, as unseen miracles. If this word has resonated deeply, leave a comment below, just a simple word, or even a single emoji. Sometimes a quiet mark of presence says, I heard, I felt, I'm still here. That's how light recognizes light across distance. Your donation, your like, your comment, your share, they are not transactions, they are transformations. Each act keeps the flow alive, like rivers feeding the same ocean of purpose. So give, speak, and connect only as your spirit leads. Every voluntary act of love is another heartbeat in heaven's rhythm. You are no longer just the listener, you are now the living echo of this message. And when you walk away from this moment, know that you carry the tall man's legacy in your silence, your kindness, your giving. Light travels best through hands that give freely and hearts that remember gently. You are the continuation of the calling, the proof that revelation, once received, never ends. It simply changes form and finds another voice through you. Each time you return to these words, they meet you differently, like the same river reflecting new skies. That's how divine truth works. It doesn't repeat, it reveals, layer by layer. As your spirit expands, the tall man's echo now hums quietly beneath your thoughts. You no longer wait for signs in the heavens. You've become fluent in heaven's language: kindness, patience, stillness, faith that does not announce itself, but endures. Life continues with its ordinary rhythm, but you notice beauty in its hidden corners. Even silence feels alive. You understand that holiness was never far. It was simply waiting for you to slow down enough to feel it breathing beside you. Every act of compassion, every whispered prayer, every moment you choose, gentleness over reaction, keeps the tall man's message alive. Revelation was never meant to be memorized, it was meant to be lived. And when gratitude rises in your chest for no reason, recognize it as heaven nodding from afar, a quiet reminder that you are walking the right path, carrying light without even trying. So walk softly, speak kindly, give freely. Let your existence remain a poem of obedience. a living scripture written in motion, where every heartbeat testifies, the message lives on. Oh, the silence that follows generosity is different from any other silence. It hums with fullness, not emptiness, with assurance rather than absence. You have learned that giving, whether of words, of time, or of presence, never leaves you diminished. It creates an invisible current that keeps heaven near. The tall man's lesson has taken root. You now understand that abundance was never about having more, but about becoming a conduit through which more can flow. The days after the revelation unfold gently. The world feels the same. Yet your perception is reborn. You no longer walk as a seeker, but as a bearer. You are carrying something luminous, something sacred. That doesn't need explanation. You've stopped trying to fit into the patterns that once felt safe. You've realized that chosen ones are never meant to blend in. They are meant to alter the atmosphere simply by being. At first, this awareness feels heavy, almost too great to hold. But then, like morning light filtering through leaves, it becomes softer, kinder. You understand that carrying revelation doesn't mean carrying burden. It means walking in awareness, knowing that every word, every silence, every glance has weight. Heaven speaks through your gentleness now. The tall man's presence taught you that strength is not force, it is balance. His height was never for intimidation, but for perspective. You are learning that real elevation is invisible. It manifests in how you respond, not how you appear. That is the mastery heaven is shaping in you, the ability to move through life anchored, unshaken, untangled by noise. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, verse 34, "Your eye is the lamp of your body. When your eyes are healthy, your whole body also is full of light. Your vision has healed. You see clearly now, not through suspicion, but through clarity that rests in peace." The tall man helped you cleanse the lens of perception to look beyond fear, beyond judgment, and into divine flow. The light you carry isn't showy or loud, it's steady and quiet. The kind that reveals rather than blinds. You notice how differently the world responds to you now. Some people are drawn to your calm as if they were thirsty for stillness. Others find your peace unsettling because it exposes their inner storm. You don't take it personally anymore. You understand that light always reveals, and revelation isn't comfortable for everyone. You let it be. You let them see. You let them choose. There's a gentle authority that has replaced the need for explanation. You speak less, but when you do, words land deeply. You move slower, but with purpose that ripples. Heaven no longer shouts directions, it whispers confirmations. You've matured to the point where silence itself becomes guidance. The tall man's legacy now flows through your instincts. When you sense imbalance, you pause instead of react. When you sense opportunity, you move without fear. You've become fluent in timing the divine rhythm between waiting and walking. This is what heaven meant when it said your steps were ordered. You are no longer striving to reach destiny, you are synchronizing with it. Every sunrise feels like a continuation of the same conversation with God, a dialogue made of moments, not words. Your daily life has become a prayer. Your peace, a prophecy. Your consistency, a form of worship. There will still be storms. Of course, chosen ones do not escape turbulence. They navigate it differently. You no longer fear the waves because you've met the tide maker. Every challenge that approaches you now carries hidden instruction. And instead of asking, "Why me?" you whisper, "What are you teaching me this time?" This is the quiet power of revelation. Lived out, it transforms reaction into reflection. You no longer burn energy fighting what you've been sent to understand. You rest in rhythm with heaven's flow, knowing that what is meant for you will always find its way. The tall man may no longer walk beside you, but he walks within you. His stride echoes in your patience, his steadiness in your decisions, his clarity in your silence. You are the living continuation of his height, the spiritual vantage point heaven entrusted to earth. And when you look back one day, you will realize that this entire journey was never about meeting someone extraordinary. It was about becoming extraordinary in simplicity, learning to stand tall without standing above, to shine without striving, to lead without noise. You are the embodiment of balance between heaven's voice and human heart. The revelation has settled now, not as fire, but as warmth, constant, comforting, eternal. You are light, and you are ready. The horizon feels closer now, as if heaven itself has leaned in to listen to your next step. The path ahead is quiet, yet charged with a sacred hum. You have walked through mystery, through delay, through visitation and understanding. And now you stand in the aftermath of revelation, not empty, but expanded. The tall man's shadow no longer follows you because it has merged with your own. You carry what he once embodied, the calm of divine certainty. You sense it when you move, each motion deliberate, unhurried, infused with awareness. The noise of the world still exists, but it no longer penetrates the sanctuary within you. You have built, through obedience and surrender, a stillness so strong that even chaos bends around it. That is the final lesson of the chosen ones. Peace is the loudest authority heaven ever gives. Your life no longer feels divided between sacred and ordinary. The two have intertwined completely. You see holiness in laughter, in routine, in imperfections, in pauses. Heaven's rhythm now plays through your every act. Like a soft song, only the obedient can hear. You don't need to announce your calling, you embody it. The tall man's journey taught you that light does not demand to be noticed. It simply reveals everything it touches. There are moments now when you stop mid-step, overcome by gratitude so deep it silences thought. You realize that every storm, every silence, every unanswered question was actually a direction disguised as delay. The waiting did not waste you, it refined you. The ache that once felt like abandonment was actually the pressure of molding. You have become what heaven envisioned, long before you asked to understand. As written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 8, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged." Lunken. Those words rest now as truth, not theory. You no longer hope they are real, you know they are. You have witnessed the evidence in your own becoming. Every time you faced uncertainty, grace appeared, disguised as endurance. Every moment you thought you were alone, heaven was rearranging your surroundings so you could stand stronger. The tall man was part of that arrangement. A brief visitation meant to awaken something eternal in you. Now that he is gone, the lessons remain alive. You understand that endings in the spirit are never conclusions, they are continuations in another form. His presence served as bridge, carrying you across the river of doubt into the shore of recognition. And now that you've crossed, you realize that the crossing itself was the miracle. You begin to live differently, not in pursuit, but in presence. You no longer measure purpose by progress, but by alignment. Each day feels lighter, not because it is easier, but because you've stopped fighting divine flow. When you rest, you no longer feel guilt. When you act, you no longer feel fear. You are learning to move like the tall man did, steady, intentional, graceful, under unseen weight. There are still unknowns ahead, of course, but mystery no longer intimidates you, it invites you. You've discovered that faith doesn't demand explanation, it delights in trust. The tall man's message continues to whisper, walk, even when you don't understand. And now, you do. You walk without needing a map, because you've become the compass. You have grown into the kind of quiet strength that changes rooms without speaking. The same clarity that once visited you now lives in you. You see from higher ground, not because you climbed faster, but because grace lifted you. The tall man's height was never about the body. It was about perspective. You now stand at that height in spirit, able to look beyond fear into promise, beyond darkness into light. The story that began with footsteps has become a legacy. What started as an encounter ends as embodiment. You are both student and continuation, reflection and expansion. The tall man was sent so that you might learn how to walk tall without pride, to see far without losing tenderness. And now, you do. The path stretches forward, quiet, glowing, infinite. You walk it not as one searching for signs, but as one carrying them. The wind that once whispered warnings now sings welcome. Every step forward is testimony that prophecy fulfilled itself through you. The tall man's mission is complete, yet his message continues alive, radiant, eternal through every heartbeat that chooses faith over fear, stillness over struggle, light over shadow. And in that sacred continuation, you finally understand. Revelation was never about arrival, it was about becoming. You are both the messenger and the message now, walking eternity's quiet road wrapped in unshakable peace. The journey has reached its resting place, yet its echo continues through you. You are no longer listening from the outside, you are breathing the message itself. The tall man's footsteps have faded, but the rhythm remains in your chest. That rhythm is purpose. That rhythm is peace. And as this story closes, take a moment to breathe in gratitude. Everything you've read, felt, and remembered has been a divine conversation between your heart and heaven. The story found you for a reason. It waited for you to be ready. If you have found stillness here, let that stillness ripple outward. If these words spoke to your spirit, like this message and share it. Each time you share, it's as if you're sending a spark across the night sky, one more light for another soul still searching. What healed, you can heal someone else if it's allowed to travel. Leave a comment below, even a single word or symbol. It becomes a footprint on sacred ground. A quiet way of saying, I was here, I heard, and I understood. Comments are more than interaction. They are echoes that keep the voice of purpose alive. Subscribe if this journey has felt like home. You aren't signing up for content. You're stepping into a circle of those who listen deeper than noise. Every message to come will build upon this one. a continuous unfolding of light. And finally, if you feel moved to donate, let it come softly from the heart. Giving is not an exchange, it's participation in grace. Picture it as placing another stone in a riverbed, helping the current of this message reach further shores. Walk forward, carrying calm. Live as the continuation of what was spoken here. The tall man's story ends, but yours, glorious, growing, and guided, has just begun.